guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do something slightly different for you. I did mention a couple of videos ago that I was going to try and add some different content in that was more about like my experiences with things and stuff basically to help you guys out. And sort of you commented like your ages, and there's such a variety of ages watching these videos that I was like, I just need to kind of try and cover everything. So you know what this video is already because you've seen the title, but I am going to story time about my first period. Nobody likes to talk about periods, do they? Let's be honest. But there was a lot of people who said, who were kind of younger and wanted to know about this kind of thing, and I know that if I ever need any advice or want to know what the hell is about to happen to my body, I come to YouTube and I look it up. So that's what I'm going to do. This is purely for people who are scared about their period coming, if they just want some advice. If you're just a bit nosy and want to know what happened when I got my first period, then proceed watching. That's fine. I've got a few notes in my little book because I didn't want to miss anything out. So yeah, let's just go. I was 14 when I got my first period, and a lot of my friends were much younger than me when they got theirs. They were sort of 12 and 13 when they got theirs, so I was kind of the last one in my group of friends to get it. So I mean, other people, if you're older and you're watching, you'll know totally what I mean. If you were one of the last in your friendship group to get your period, it was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why haven't I got it yet? But obviously everyone's bodies develop at different rates. Some people get their period when they're 8 and some people don't get it till they're like 16. And those people are lucky people. But I got mine when I was 14. I was in year 9 at school. I remember the day it happened, I remember what happened, I remember what lesson I was in when it happened. So I was at school when I got my period and I wasn't expecting it at all. Like, I didn't have any signs, whereas now obviously you get used to having your period, you know when your period's gonna come because it hurts, you get cramps and achy and grumpy and whatever. But obviously when you've never had one before, you don't know that it's gonna come. So I was at school when mine came. I was in English class with my friends and I was like, oh, I need a wee. So in the middle of English, I was like, sir, can I go to the toilet? Off I went to the toilet, period. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do now, because I'd never spoken about it with my mum, and I was really quite shy when I was younger, so talking about it with my friends we didn't talk about it very often. So I went to the toilet and I was like, crap, what do I do? No one else was in the toilet, so I got my phone out, and luckily I had my phone in my pocket, because obviously you leave your bag and everything in your lesson. I had my phone in my pocket, so I called mum like 5 times. She didn't answer her phone. I kept ringing her and ringing her. And I was in the toilet like, I don't know what to do, I don't have anything with me. I wouldn't know what to do with it even if I did. My mum won't answer her phone and everyone else is in lessons. What do I do? So I did what most other girls do, and you use the trusty toilet roll. So you get a bit of toilet roll, you make a little pad with your toilet roll, stick it in your knickers and off back to class you go. Luckily it was towards the end of I think it was we were in second period of the day. So many periods. So we used to have 6 lessons a day, so I was in my second one just before break. So I went back to my lesson and I sat down. All I could think about was my period. Like, oh my god, it's gonna go everywhere, what is gonna happen, I'm gonna embarrass the hell out of myself. Now luckily we had black trousers at school, so that's fine. Plus, period just doesn't come like rushing out. It's not constantly like out of you. It doesn't work like that. So anyway, I then left my lesson and I had one of my best friends in the lesson with me. So when we left, on the way back, I can't remember where we were going actually. We must have been just wandering around for lunch. it might have been first lesson I was in actually, and we were heading up to science, and as we walked into like the doors I was like, I need to tell you something. So my friend was like, what? And I was like, I think I've just come on my period, but I don't know what to do. And at the bottom of science was the medical room, so she was like, oh, I'll go into medical. I was like, okay, see you later, and like snuck off. Went into medical and I was like, I think I've started my period, which was really awkward because I was so shy and I just wanted to like cry and disappear because I was like, this is so embarrassing. So I went in, I was like, I think I've started my period, and she was like, okay, like, do you have anything on you? And I was like, no, don't have anything. Then what happens? This would only happen to me. The fire alarm goes off, is what happens. So she's about to ring my mum to come and collect me. No, the fire bell goes off. So she looks at me and goes, will you be all right to go outside and line up? And I was like, I don't know, will I? You tell me, I've never had this before. So I was just like, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. So I went out, had to go and line up on the playground at the back of school. And we were all stood there and I was like, okay, hurry up. And obviously they have to do the registers and it felt like forever. Anyway, we finally got back in. She called my mum. Mum came and got me. And it's just like the dead awkward. Now me and my mum talk about most things, but we just hadn't, for some reason, talked about me getting my period. We just hadn't spoken about it. And obviously when the time came, we then spoke about it. So I came home, she started running me a bath, and then she went and got a pair of knickers from my drawer, and I put them on, but I had my knickers on and then I put them on and she was like, right, I'm going to show you how to use a pad. Because I never used tampons when I first started. She was like, I'm going to show you how to use a pad. I was like, okay. She showed me how to use it, and then she went and made me a cup of tea and got me a hot water bottle while I had a bath, sorted myself out. And then, yeah, that was that really. And then to be honest with you, I've had kind of bad experiences with all of my lady parts, and not lady parts, like lady functions, shall we say. So when I started my period, mine did not stop. Now I'm not going to scare you with this because that doesn't happen to many people. Just me. Fire bell goes off and then my period doesn't stop. Great. So yeah, I did have a few issues with mine where it didn't stop, but that got fixed. Anyway, if you want a video about that, then I'll tell you about that, but the main one for this one is to tell people about your period and not to panic, not to worry. I've now discovered tampons. I discovered them years ago, but I've now discovered tampons and they are so much easier, but kind of difficult at first to get used to and actually put in. But don't worry about that, keep trying and stick at it, because at first it was really difficult and I hated it and I couldn't do it and it hurt and it was just awkward. But look at the leaflet in the pack. If you're using tampons for the first time, look at the leaflet in the pack. It shows you exactly what to do. Follow the instructions, and even if the first time you can't do it, keep trying to do it, because my friends were like, you need to use tampons, like they're so much cleaner, you feel so much cleaner, like, because obviously it's inside you, whereas with the pad it actually comes out of you and then like sits there. So tampons were a massive game changer for me. Once I figured out how to use them and I was comfortable using them. So yeah, that was that really. But basically my tips are, for starting your period, make sure, especially obviously when you start secondary school, if you haven't already started your period, which most people probably haven't, if you haven't already started your period, when you go to secondary school, make sure you've got a little like pack, like you've got some stuff with you, even if it's just one pad. Just as long as you've got something with you, so that when it comes you don't panic and have to use toilet roll like I did and like most other people did. And for you who are older, please tell me that you did that as well. I'm pretty sure other people did, because I watched a few of these videos before filming this one, and a few people said that they did the whole fold up some toilet roll and stick it in your knickers kind of thing. So if you did, let me know, because that's funny. But yeah, make sure you've got something with you. Don't panic, because it's not going to come falling out of you. It's not going to rush out. You're not going to have an absolute mess everywhere. Trust me, you're just not. And just be open about it. Do you know what I mean? I find it's quite difficult sometimes. Like, I've been brought up and my family and I are really open about things, and we talk about things. And if I'm grumpy, the boys know that I'm on my period. Like, that's how it works, you know? Every girl has them. That's just how it is. So it's not uncommon. Talk to your mum about it. Your mum went through exactly the same thing. Talk to your older sister. If you don't have anyone, send me a message. Do you know what I mean? Everyone has been through it, so don't be scared about talking about it, and don't be shy about talking about it. But I do know that it is scary and it's embarrassing, and you may not want to talk about it, but it's important to understand everything basically, and why you're getting it. And I remember my mum bought me a book called The Period Book when I was in primary school, I think, and that just had literally basic information in it. I think I've still got it somewhere actually. Obviously I haven't read it for like years, but I kept it because I was like, that's cute, like that's something cute that she got. But even now, like, Google it. If you've got questions, just Google it. Google has the answer to literally everything. If you want to ask me any questions, comment them down below. You can DM me on Twitter, you can DM me on Instagram, anything, you can do that. That's absolutely fine by me. But don't be scared. That was my period story. I hope you enjoyed it. It's not the most enjoyable thing to talk about, but it happens and you have to talk about it, because otherwise no one ever talks about it, and then people get scared. And it happens. It happens once a month for the rest of your life. Not for the rest of your life. Till you reach menopause. So it's gonna keep happening for a while. So you may as well get used to it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Any comments, again, comment them down below. If you've got any personal questions, then DM me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. Any other video suggestions you'd like to see, again, comment them down below, and I will see you again soon. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.